The air in the ancient arena crackled, thick with anticipation and the scent of ozone. Two sorcerers stood at its center, separated by a shimmering force field. On one side, Illara, cloaked in robes the color of twilight, her silver hair pulled back in a severe braid. Her eyes, the shade of polished amethyst, narrowed as she faced her opponent. Opposite her, Kaelen, younger and more impulsive, wore vibrant crimson, his dark hair unbound, framing a face etched with a mix of arrogance and raw power. He smirked, a flash of white teeth against tan skin. Tonight, the fate of the crystal spires, and perhaps the very balance of magic in the realm, hung in the balance. The High Council, robed figures solemn in their elevated seats, gave the silent signal. The force field shimmered once, then dissipated like morning mist. The duel had begun. Kaelen struck first, as expected. With a defiant roar, he raised both hands, and twin bolts of emerald lightning erupted from his fingertips, arcing directly towards Illara. The air howled as they tore through the space between them. Illara, however, was a master of defense. She didn't move an inch, merely extended a hand. A shield of pure, shimmering sapphire light materialized before her, absorbing the bolts with a soft hiss and dissolving them into harmless sparks that rained down like glittering dust. "Amateur," Illara murmured, her voice a low thrum that seemed to vibrate through the arena stones. Her retaliation was subtle, yet devastating. She didn't unleash a grand spell. Instead, she wove an intricate pattern in the air with her fingers, and from the ground around Kaelen, the shadows themselves began to coalesce. They coiled and writhed, forming into spectral serpents that lunged at his legs, attempting to bind him. Kaelen yelped, surprised by the unexpected attack from below. He stomped his foot, and a burst of golden light exploded outwards, shattering the shadow serpents into wisps that evaporated. He was powerful, no doubt, but Illara had centuries of experience, a profound understanding of the deep currents of magic. He had underestimated her restraint, her ability to make the mundane deadly. He changed tactics, leaping into the air, a whirlwind of crimson. From his elevated position, he began to chant, his voice resonating with growing power. The very stones of the arena trembled. Above him, the ceiling, open to the night sky, began to darken, not with clouds, but with swirling, chaotic magical energy. A massive fireball, crackling with destructive potential, started to form, growing larger and hotter with every beat of Illara's heart. This was Kaelen's signature attack, a raw display of brute force. Illara watched, unperturbed. Her amethyst eyes glowed, reflecting the fiery orb. As Kaelen prepared to hurl the inferno, Illara simply raised both hands, palms open. She didn't create a shield this time. Instead, she began to pull. Her fingers flexed, subtly, but with immense strength. The air around Kaelen's fireball began to distort, to ripple. The immense magical energy within the sphere, instead of condensing further, started to unravel, to stretch. Kaelen gasped, his chant faltering, as he realized what she was doing. Illara wasn't just defending, she was dismantling his spell from the inside out, redirecting its very essence. With a final, powerful tug of her hands, Illara inverted Kaelen's attack. The massive fireball didn't explode. It imploded, collapsing inward, harmlessly vanishing into nothingness. Kaelen, caught off guard by the sudden void where his power had been, stumbled in midair, plummeting towards the arena floor. He recovered quickly, however, landing with a grunt and a renewed surge of anger. "You old hag, you'll pay for that," he roared, no longer bothering with finesse. He slammed his fist into the ground. A fissure of raw, jagged earth erupted from the impact point, tearing across the arena floor directly towards Illara. Sharp, crystalline spikes of stone shot up from the crack like hungry teeth. Illara calmly stepped aside, the stone spikes tearing through the space where she had stood moments before. But she wasn't just evading. As the earth tore open, she extended her hands, whispering an incantation. The very ground Kaelen had disturbed began to ripple, to shift. The broken, jagged stones he had summoned turned against him. They rose, reformed, and then slammed together, creating a cage of living rock around him, sealing him in up to his chest. Kaelen struggled, roaring, his arms flailing, but the stone held him fast. He pulsed with emerald energy, trying to blast his way out, but Illara had woven ancient wardings into the stone, wardings that drew power from the earth itself. His struggles only seemed to make the cage clamp tighter. "You have talent, Kaelen," Illara said, her voice softer now, almost mournful. She slowly approached him, her robes rustling like fallen leaves. Kaelen snarled, "This isn't over, I can still." Before he could finish, Illara laid a hand gently on the stone imprisoning him. Her eyes glowed with a soft, ethereal light. She didn't attack him, didn't cast another destructive spell. Instead, a wave of calming, soothing energy emanated from her touch, washing over the stone, and then over Kaelen. His struggle ceased, his furious face softened, his eyes widening as if seeing for the first time. The rage slowly drained from him, replaced by a profound weariness, a realization of the futility of his efforts against her mastery. He slumped, defeated, the emerald light fading from his form. The High Council gave their verdict. Illara, victorious. Kaelen, humbled. The duel of power had ended not with a final destructive blast, but with a quiet, undeniable display of wisdom and true magical might. The crystal spires were safe, for now, and the balance of magic, restored by the Twilight Sorceress, settled back into its ancient, rightful rhythm.